Thank you for all your support by clicking that like, share, and subscribe buttons. Our video today comes from the channel CBS Chicago, a channel that brings you breaking news, real-time weather, compelling exclusive content, and award-winning investigative reports. Head over to the link in the description and check them out. In December 2019, Chicago police officers confronted two innocent teens, more than once in Rogers Park, even though neither ever committed any crime. CBS 2 investigator Dave Savini documents what else the hours of footage reveal about that night.
CBS 2 investigators are about to show you terrifying moments when Chicago police confront two innocent teens. Officers confronted them more than once,
even though neither committed any crime. Dave Savini documents what else the hours of footage reveal about that night.
We're in apartment 3D. Apartment 3D, David.
It was right before Christmas.
Through the years, Christmas Eve was a special night for Juanita James and her two sons.
Everybody was happy.
Always a beautifully decorated tree and lots of photos of Christmas sweaters, funny hats, and hugs for as long as 16-year-old Jalen and 13-year-old Lazarick can remember. But there's one Christmas Eve the family wants to forget.
It makes me sad that they even had to go through something like that.
It's 8:09 p.m., December 24th, 2019. Juanita says her teens suddenly find police beating on their door.
Okay, listen, at some point this door's going to be broken open, and you will be dragged out.
Jalen, her oldest son, opens it and is greeted with handguns.
Hey, get down on the ground, on your knees.
The gun is aimed at his head when police wrongly target him as they barge into their apartment without a warrant.
It happened so fast. I just remember opening the door and then being in handcuffs on the ground in the hallway.
As scared as Jalen was, he was more afraid for someone else.
Stop.
Terrified of what officers might do.
Do you have a gun? No, stop! Come on! Get on your knees!
At gunpoint, they order Lazarick, who was just a 7th grader at the time, to the floor. What are you feeling at that moment?
Honestly, I was scared because I was like, okay, anything could happen at this moment.
Do you think you might have been killed that night?
I very easily could have been killed that night.
What you've just witnessed is just one encounter between police and the teens that night. It all happened here at this apartment complex near the Red Line at the Loyola University stop. The CBS 2 investigators have now obtained body camera footage of an unbelievable 20 minutes that led up to their terrifying ordeal.
Who started this? What happened?
Those body cam videos,
Originally came as a suspicious person. 6 male blacks in the stairwell.
plus police dispatch radio transmissions now reveal how several other innocent young black males in the area were also targeted that same night.
Do we have anything besides them being a suspicious person?
Listen as a sergeant heading to the scene wants more information.
They said, what are they being chased for? Suspicious person? Is that all we got?
The confusion about who police are chasing and why gets even worse for Jalen. Did it seem to you like they were disorganized that night?
Very. When you run into officers as many times as I did, they're disorganized.
Disorganized because when Jalen was held at gunpoint, it was actually the 4th time he was confronted by police that night. 20 minutes earlier, around 7:47 p.m., was the first time police take him down. It's hard to see in the darkness, but that's him getting tackled.
So I immediately put my hands up. They bring me down, cuff me right here.
He was a junior at Sullivan High School at the time and a standout football player and champion wrestler. He says to avoid the possibility of getting shot by police, he made sure he did not resist.
I was always taught to always respect them and never run, never talk back, never do these things to the police. But that was because of what they do to people like me. So
people like you?
Yeah, black teenagers.
It screams misconduct.
Al Hofeld Jr. is the family's attorney.
I think it's a way of policing that's dehumanizing and frankly racist.
He is then questioned about guns and if he really lives here in Rogers Park.
What's your name, man?
He gives his name and address.
I live upstairs.
But they don't believe him, and while handcuffed, take his keys from his pocket, go through his building and open his apartment door.
Is it?
and then they let him go.
Yeah, we apologize, man. It's just bad timing, man, you know? Wrong place, wrong time, all right? But that's why I had them uncuff you right away.
But after that apology, a few blocks away, Jalen is again stopped by police. He's cleared again, but as he heads back to his apartment complex, another team of officers is still on the hunt, searching someone else's unit. Listen as they admit they have no clue who they are looking for.
What are these guys wanted for? I don't know. Honestly, I don't know.
But as they leave, they see Jalen, who is going back to his apartment.
Come here.
It's the third time Jalen gets stopped and questioned by police that night.
I just talked to the police.
Eventually, they let him go upstairs through the back door, and that's when these cops came banging at the front door.
Get down the ground.
You remember them, the officers who forced him to the ground at gunpoint.
Don't do this again.
Eventually, a sergeant arrived and told the officers to let both minors go, but when they asked officers why they used force on them, police told them this.
Don't bitch. So was your boy. He's
Getting cold for Christmas.
What does it say to you that one of them would make a final comment saying, "You're going to get coal for Christmas"?
It makes you feel like disgusted. It's very belittling to just diminish what I went through.
The family filed a formal police misconduct case 2 years ago, and the Chicago Police Department, they say they can't comment because it's all still being investigated by the Civilian Office of Police Accountability. In the Loop, Dave Savini, CBS 2 Investigators.
During this investigation, we also discovered one of the officers who entered the family's apartment that night had a logo embroidered on his uniform. It's the skull symbol that often represents the Punisher, an anti-hero in a popular Marvel comic series. There's a lot of debate right now about whether the logo is a hate symbol. Read up on its history and why CPD has actually banned it. It's in the CBS 2 Investigators section of our CBS Chicago app.